How are we doing, everyone? Shankarp right here. Today we're gonna look at the markets again, see what's going on, what's happening under the hood. So without further ado, let's dive right in. All right, guys. So looking at the USD BTC dominance. Yeah, we're just consolidating here, guys. Getting ready for this leg down. If we put up the RSI, relative strength index here. I mean, I don't really use these indicators, but what the relative strength indicator does and it tells us the strength of the price action. So we are consolidating, and if we look strictly at this, what we can see is there's a weakness in this price action. We're against the weekly time frame here. These are daily support and resistance zones. We have a break below and we have wicks above. So what that tells us just from this is saying, hey, the price is having a rough time actually breaking above this weekly time frame, and it's favoring the downside in this consolidation zone because we did have this breakdown. On top of that, we do have this divergence in the RSI, so it's showing that while we're consolidating, there's a lot of weakness in the Bitcoin dominance chart. So this shows us that we're gearing up for this alt season. Yes, I know right now Bitcoin's down, guys, but please consider, we are at these all-time highs. And again, one thing you guys really need to consider is we are, though, like this, and I explained it in the last video, is this right here is really a non-factor. I know on a lot of YouTube channels they're talking about, yeah, we're consolidating against this all-time high right here, but the biggest concern was actually right over here. Once we actually broke here, right here at 58,000, and you can see how significant the volume was above it. Once we broke here, we're pretty much at an all-time high territories. We're pretty much there, because when you're trading, you want to consider is the first resistance is always the most important, and especially how we had this very nice bearish engulfing candle, because the first resistance here is like, this is where the price is determining the resistance, and everything after it is you're gonna make decisions based on this first resistance. So all of this is, you can draw resistance here. However, you can see it came underneath, pushed up, came underneath. So this is the most important resistance that the price action needed to break above. And you can see we had this big volume candle here. Yeah, we had this big volume candle here. Let's map it out as green. And it just sliced right through. So consider that in that, we're already gone, guys. We are already about to break all-time highs. Yes, a lot of people are saying we're right at the all-time highs here, but this was the most important point of resistance. Once we broke this, we're already going to new highs with Bitcoin, which we are now. But as per our BLX chart right here, guys, the halving is in 30 days. We're looking to aim up into this territory here for the top. So there could be some slowing down and consolidation. We could break above it, but I don't see us going past 200k, to be honest. So let's look at the total two, guys. Again, everything is very similar. Yeah, so you can see nothing much has changed. It's really been a day. What we're gonna look at too is the USDT dominance, and as I said in the last video, guys, this was a point of support. So getting this pushback was something that we were considering and expecting. And you can see that having this pullback, you can see Bitcoin's price really came back and started consolidating. So you can see the significance of the USDT dominance and how important it actually is for the Bitcoin price and altcoins, right? This is literally inverse. And if you can actually understand the charts, you can see, look, as this came down, and this is the Bitcoin chart, this started pushing up. It's literally the exact opposite, right? So you don't need to know exactly where things are going. However, if you can look at the chart and say with probability, there's a higher probability that this is going to happen because you'll be ahead of the game. So, you know, we have this support and resistance zone here, and it's pretty significant because if we drag it on over here, it is a support and resistance here, 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 and here, right? So it is a very significant support and resistance. So we could get a pullback in some consolidation, which is perfectly fine and normal, right? So like we had 20, so this is October of 2020 and this is April of 2021. So you can see during this time here, this was when the market started going crazy, right? So just like that over there, right now here we had this nice push down. However, we can get a pullback and then head further down. So we could get something like this. The price comes back up and then we head further down and then experience this type of movement, right? So that's something that you guys definitely can consider. And what's very interesting as well is during all the other Bitcoin moves, we were in this upwards consolidation. Like the USDT dominance was in accumulation, and then we had this distribution phase, and now we're having this markdown phase. So the alt season and this Bitcoin rally could actually be a lot more powerful, just considering that when we had our Bitcoin and altcoin rallies, we were actually in, you know, if we're on the weekly time frame right now, we were actually in an uptrend overall for this whole time. You know, if we look from we look from 2017, we were always in an uptrend. So this is the first time it actually looks like the price of the USDT dominance is in, we had this distribution phase, and now we're in this downtrend. So this could be the first time where it's like, you know, we're actually trending down on the USDT dominance. So the money flowing into altcoins can be that much more powerful in this rally, you know? So that's something to definitely consider, because like let's if we look right here, guys, we had this massive push down, but you know, we were still in an uptrend. We didn't break any lows. This was the last high, we maintained it. So point A to point B up here, maintained it, and then we had this other high here, maintained it, right? So and then we had another higher low, and then another higher low here, right? And it was maintained. So that's really something to consider, where now we're actually we had this high here, we have a lower high here, right? And then now we can be making a lower high, get a pullback over here, and then have an alt season. So this could be, you know, next month, you know, we have the Bitcoin halving, price USDT dominance comes all the way up here, and then we have a push down. So that's something to really consider, guys, that this can actually be a way more explosive alt season. There's more money involved, and realistically, you really have to consider is like, yeah, we were on an uptrend here, distribution and downtrend. So the power which money is going to be flowing into the alts is definitely going to be a lot more intense. However, because the market cap is so much, because there's so much more altcoins in the market, the opportunity, you really have to make sure you're in the right coins, right? And I know there's a couple things you can do to help. So what we're going to do, we're going to also look at some altcoins as well. So this coin here, media licensing token, definitely a coin that I like. So what you want to consider when you're choosing coins is a couple things. Is you want to make sure they're in an uptrend and have not too much price discovery they're in price discovery and not too much, you know, price action to the left, right? So that's something that you want to consider, as well as if we go onto their Instagram, you know, uh, yeah, so they're very active. You know, they have things coming up. If we go onto their website, it's a real website. Let's go on to their. So if we go onto their website, it's a real website, has a lot of information, but not just that. We have over here so this is their roadmap. So this is for Q1 and Q2. So there's information for Q1 and Q2 to actually push the price higher, right? There are things that are going to be happening that can catch the eye of individuals, so the price can be pushed up higher. And not even just that, if we go on to look at this guy here, man. So you want to make sure that there's people with a lot of followers as well that are, you know, pushing the coin. So this guy has it in his bio, and he's pumping it to pretty much everyone. So these are things that, you know, with the crypto market as it picks up, a lot of people are going to actually be looking on this guy's website, going to be looking at, you know, the roadmap. So there's stuff to post. This is actually a company that the founder's been around for 20 plus years. So it is a coin. Like if you were nervous of, hey, is this coin going to zero? This is a lower probability that it would go to zero, just because the integrity of the team is actually there and they're real. And you know, you can put faces to the everyone. So you know, they don't want to mess up their reputation as well, right? But again, with crypto, literally anything pumps. So you know, it's kind of crazy. And okay, and then the market cap as well, we're looking at 47 million right now, right? So definitely something that you guys want to consider. Yeah, man. So that is something that you guys want to look for, is price action is in a blue sky or in some type of you know, higher low, higher high scenario. So for instance, over here, if we were going to buy into this, you would want to wait until this was broken. So this resistance area was broken, and then you start buying over here, right? So this is a coin that, you know, it's getting close to price discovery. However, it has already done literally at 80x since the bottom, right? But you wouldn't really catch the bottom, because right here you don't really know. The only indication that you had that price was actually going to reverse is right over here on the weekly time frame, is that we had this resistance flipped up and then retested into support. So you could have bought this breakout candle here, but you know, that's the only thing that I would have seen for me to actually get into the project. The safer opportunity would have been once we break this, then we buy on here, because this is a pretty strong downtrend with no interruptions. So it's a lot easier for it to break above. Now with this coin, this is an $8 million market cap. We have, this is a significant resistance, right? So though Bitcoin is pulling back, however, a lot of these coins are pulling back against resistance or just above their all-time highs. So once this breaks here, you know, we have, this is pretty significant for this price action, but it is only $8 million. So if a lot of capital does flow into it, it's not going to be that hard to break above. But once this breaks, and this is a weekly time frame, you know, it's going to be a pretty smooth ride bullish, right? This is a very small market cap, $8 million. So, you know, you want to consider that the risk is pretty high, and it has already moved up, you know, from the lows, again, like 80x already, right? So consider that. So let's look at S&P 500, and S&P 500 again is still looking bullish. You know, let's look on the daily time frame, what is happening with it. So we are just testing the support area here that was resistance. So resistance, support. So I mean, nothing too concerning, to be honest. I mean, once we break, if we break this level here, then we come down to this level. If we break below this, then we come down to this level here, right? So that's kind of how you play it. So this is a daily time frame. So that's really all that, you know, we'd be concerned about at this moment. And again, having a pullback is perfectly normal. I mean, we had a nice rally from the break. You know, it's been up 8%. So that's definitely, you know, getting a pullback shouldn't be that concerning. But how we're reading this is from level to level. So if we break below here, guys, we're looking for price to test this area 5,036. If we break below 5,036, we're looking to get to 49.51. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now, right? So, you know, we do have this bearish engulf. Well, it's not bearish engulfing, but it's pretty strong bearish candle. We had this bullish engulfing candle here on the daily. So 1, 2, 3. So it does look like right now it's just testing. We're just testing on the daily time frame this support. So let's see what will happen. Let's go down to the 4 hour. Let's go down here onto the 2 hour, 1 hour. Yeah, so if we look on the 1 hour time frame, yeah, it's looking fine. If we, yeah, so we're underneath this support right now. So yeah, so we're underneath this resistance right now that was created on the 1 hour. So I mean, yeah, there is a bit of resistance here, so we could see the price come down to here. However, on Monday we will know what is going to happen. But with trading, you're not really going to know what's going to happen. You read the candles and make a decision. So right now there's no decision I would be making to short or anything like that, right? We're still in this uptrend, you know. So this was the low here and this is the high. So nothing on the 1 hour until price either breaks above here or breaks below here. There's nothing telling me that we're going to be heading lower or higher. So this was the low and the high. So everything in between this is just noise. You need to see something break above. So I'll just put this in red so we can keep this here. You need to see price break above for us to continue higher, or price to break below for us to say we're heading lower on the 1 hour time frame. But everything in between this is just noise. The only thing to consider is that when we draw these support and resistance areas, so the probability of us getting, so if we broke below this, if we break below this, there's a higher probability of us getting down to this low right here, right? So that's all that really means. If we break above this, then there's a higher probability for us to get to this zone right here, right? So in between this, we do have support and resistances that can help us with the probability of which area we're going to get to. And then once we get there, then we can make a decision, right? So yeah, so everything in between here, this is a pretty clear low and high, very nice. And something to consider too is that this was a low and high right here, right? At one point. Right, so this was a low and a high at one point from here to here. So this was a low, the push to the high. So anything in between here was just noise. And then once you break above, right now you've broken above this, it gives us a higher probability to say, hey, we can start taking buys. We've broken above, indicating to us that we can actually make a move higher. So that's really what it is. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll continue higher. Fortunately, we did continue higher into this uptrend. But so right now, that is where we're at with this price action. All right. So last thing we're going to look at, guys, is the pi cycle top. So the pi cycle top indicator, guys, you can see here we are Um, so we are looking like kind of September of 2020, how the bands are kind of separated. So September of 2020, Bitcoin was at 10K, and it took from September all the way to March. I think it was March. Yeah, March or April. So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So that was 8 months. So that was 8 months before they crossed. And again, these moving averages are dependent as well as on the price action. So if we do get a serious pullback, then the bands will extend. But it looks like if we are on the same track as where these bands were in August or September, it looks like we can actually have an explosive run for the next 8 months, right? So as the bands start to contract and get smaller, you can see April of 2016, and then we had November of 2017. So that was over a year and a half. Yeah, that was about a year and a half before the bands crossed. So that's also something to consider too, is that this move was way longer, and these bands started getting closer in 2016. The market finished in November of 2017. These bands started getting closer, and then we had COVID-19 and the money being printed, and then everything kind of just shot up, and that's kind of what happened, right? But if we were going to look at the 2017 cycle, it would be about a year and a couple months. So, if we follow this, we got, a year, a couple months, 8 months, just under 2 years before we cross and actually finish this bull cycle. So just consider that we do have, this is the beginning of the bull market, man. Like, once Bitcoin breaks its all-time highs, man, it's gonna be interesting. Everyone's gonna be calling you and asking about Bitcoin. I already know I'm gonna have family members calling me, man. I have to just turn my phone off, man. So yeah, man, that's definitely amazing, man. You guys stay level-headed, and when family and friends ask you about crypto, do what you gotta do, but maybe keep to yourself, because once the market really starts taking off, you're gonna need your full faculties to make sure you're making the right decisions, and not feeding into any hype, because you know better, right? And once you start feeding into any hype, maybe you would make decisions that you weren't going to in the first place. But yeah, man, it's all a part of the process, so don't even worry. But yeah, so that's really it for today, guys. You can see that once we broke the all-time highs of Bitcoin, we definitely started moving very rapidly up. So even right now, guys, we are going to be moving pretty fast, pretty hard with Bitcoin. So I'm gonna go back to the BLX, and you can see here, guys, once we broke the all-time highs, boom, we had 196 days. So just under 2 years, just under 1 year, Bitcoin went up exponentially. Same here. Once we broke all-time highs, price started going crazy, man. That was just under a year. So both times it was just under a year, and then the price started going parabolic. Same here, we broke all-time highs, Bitcoin went up 170%, and over here we broke an all-time highs. So I would anticipate we're gonna be going up maybe just the double, maybe just over a double or under, and then we'd make our descent back down. So that's the difference. The only difference in this market right now is that we have had the halving happen. The halving is happening next month, and we've already broken all-time highs. So that is the only thing that many people are like surprised about. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. It doesn't really matter that much. All I can say is that if we do get a pullback, getting a pullback to 57K, 57.6 is definitely totally okay, man. Like, that is the true support of the market on a weekly time frame. So getting a pullback to 57,600 is many people will be shaken out and scared because they think that, you know, we've broken above our all-time high, so we have to maintain it. But getting a pullback to 57.6 is the true support of the market. So if we did come down to this level, I would anticipate a lot of buying to be happening and then a push up. So that is definitely something that we can anticipate, and that would be about a 16% pullback. So that's definitely something that would scare a lot of people, because they're not seeing the chart in the true way it needs to be read, right? It's not. This is a true support right here, right? So everything else, we see how it reacts around. So the fact that we had this big breakout coming back down here, high probability it's going to get bought up because of this nice volume candle that broke above, right? So definitely something you guys need to consider as you're trading and investing. Tune in next time. And again, I know I keep saying I'm going to post about the FTMO challenge. I will post about it. We're up about still 1.3% this week. Didn't take too many trades. You know, I think I traded maybe 3 times this week. Took mostly losses and then one win at the end, up 1.3%. And we're going to keep posting about it. I'm going to organize, you know, I have all my charts here. So, and we'll definitely post about it on how the whole week went. So you guys can also stay up to date on that as well. So without further ado, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and tune in next time. Get yourself ready for the bull run. You know, you're not too late. You know, if we start seeing a pullback, areas to enter on the weekly time frame, 57,000. Yeah, that'd be the ideal entry if we came all the way back down. So yeah, even on the daily time frame, you can see it's the true support of the market, in my belief. All right, so that's really all, guys. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.